I mean, this is a playoff chase, right? I mean, we had the Lions who took it into the last week of the season, which was awesome, unexpected. And now we got the Red Wings, who went on that 5-game winning streak at Seattle, but they're playing one of the teams ahead of them in Washington, a team they have games in hand on. They're 3 points behind. So it's a big game. It's a big game tonight. Washington's lost 4 in a row. Alexander Ovechkin is out. He's in Russia. His father passed away. Lucas Raymond out since that practice collision. We were on the air when that happened.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played since. Although it's been implied, I think he could be back Thursday.
Yeah, they're saying soon, so that's good.
But I saw on your show sheet, I didn't see this. Vrana might play tonight?
That's the word.
Okay.
That Lalone wants to get him in the game, and tonight's an opportunity.
At Washington, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Former team. Yeah. Interesting. Put him on the ice for the first time since October. Well, with the Red Wings, put him on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a handful of practices under his belt with his teammates too. So,
but hey, man, look, this is the kind of thing we've been waiting for. In the meantime, the Bertuzzi trade talk has been, doused a little bit.
Been quelled.
Well, it makes sense if you think about it, right? I mean, I would imagine that the Red Wings would be looking for something in the neighborhood of the Thomas Tatar return. Remember when they traded him for a first, second, and third?
That was a lot.
Yep. There's an abundance of wings, not Detroit Red Wings, but wingers available. And this guy's often been injured. And while people love his style of play, I feel like they think they're going to get him cheap. And I don't think the Red Wings want to give up on him cheap.
They're not just going to give him up. And they also are only going to consider it, you would imagine, if they're out of the playoff picture by the trade deadline. If they find themselves 10 points out, 8 points out, then go ahead and move him, I guess. If you know that you're not going to re-sign him, or if the offer is too good to pass up. But he's a player with a lot of talent. A lot of talent. I mean, it's a year ago that he had 62 points, I think, in 66 games or whatever it was. I mean, he was a 30-goal scorer. If he's healthy, he can play. And, he's a point every other game guy this year, but he hasn't played much. He's starting to play now, and you're starting to see point-a-game type stuff when he's healthy. And when he's playing with Dylan Larkin. And I don't think it's any coincidence that Dylan Larkin has been surging since Tyler Bertuzzi came back in the line.
7 goals, 6 assists since the All-Star game for
Larkin. And that's in 7 games?
Yeah. And yes. And for the last 5 games, Bertuzzi has gotten a point. I mean, look, this is one of those deals where it's weird, right? Because you got a player that, according to reports, and take it for what it's worth, it doesn't sound like they're particularly close on a contract extension. I think Yzerman is trying to keep cost containment. I think he's trying to keep the in-house guys as cheap as possible, which, get it. I mean, you're talking about, I think he's looking to put in salary caps in his own in-house salary caps that he doesn't want players to exceed in the future. And he's trying to, milk extra years out of guys. I think Steve's driving a hard bargain is what it feels like to me. So if Bertuzzi and the Red Wings aren't particularly close, and they are likely to lose him in free agency, the question becomes, at the trade deadline, if there are no offers, do you give him away to get something for nothing? And I suspect one of the reasons why the trade talk has cooled with him is simply their offers stink. People are trying to get him at a bargain because he is an injured player, and there's a lot of supply at the position. And so I think you have to keep him, hope that there is some middle ground that's met on a contract, and try and make the playoffs. I don't think you give him away. So I'm not surprised he was taken off the market. Whenever we have a player that's hurt here, you'd go, okay, what's that player actually going to get? Because when we're talking about trading for somebody else's player with great upside that's been hurt, we always say, well, maybe we can get him cheap because he was hurt, which is what everybody else would be saying about Tyler Bertuzzi right now. Well,
exactly. And with, I think, 6 games left before the trade deadline, he's going to have that opportunity right up to the deadline to show that he is healthy and that he's going to be racking up points. And if he continues to rack up points, the Red Wings are going to be in good shape. I think as Tyler Bertuzzi goes, as he and Larkin go, the Red Wings go. And just keep an eye on it. I don't want to move Bertuzzi. I want to find a way to sign him. We have no idea how far apart they are. Nobody's thrown numbers out there. We have an idea with the Dylan Larkin situation based on what other players have signed that are similar type players. I think Larkin's a little bit better than those guys, but still, it's an $8.5 to $9 million range per season. We'll see if that gets done. I hope it does. Dylan Larkin's playing out of his mind right now, and I know people get jaded and think that it's because it's a contract here and all that. I just think it's what he is. I think he can get streaky, and when he's streaky, he's great when he's streaky, and that's what we're at right now.
Yeah, and look, the trade for Ville Husso to give up was a third rounder or fourth rounder, whatever it was, to get a number one netminder. Now, so now we're playing games with premium. Now we're playing pressure-packed games.
Yep.
How does he respond? He's played in playoff games in his career. He did in St. Louis. The numbers aren't particularly great. I didn't have a chance to go down the wormhole and see how he played. But now the Red Wings are playing games that they need to win. I mean, let's call it what it is. They need to win. And oftentimes you get in these situations, and the goalie can be a guy that carries you. And let's see how he responds. I'm stoked. I'm fired up. There's 27 games to go, and Detroit is in a great position to get themselves into a playoff spot over the next few weeks. And we were spoiled for so long that the playoffs were just a punch button thing. Because you know what it was? Regular season hockey didn't matter.
Right.
It didn't. We could talk about it, and we lived through that era. We had these jobs in that era, and you could drum up a little bit of Red Wings, some calls and some interest. But the truth is, the difference between what the regular season was in terms of call volume and feedback and the postseason was extreme. Postseason hockey was great. Trade deadline talk was good. But postseason hockey was a completely different animal.
You know what else? I don't remember us talking too much about seeding either, in terms of, hey, okay, if they win this game, they can get to a second seed, and that means they'll match up with the Blackhawks instead of matching up with San Jose. I don't remember us doing deep dives into it like that.
Right.
It was just, hey, they'll play who they're going to play in the playoffs because we were confident the Red Wings were better than anybody.
Scared of anybody.
Yeah. Now it's like, please get in. And if you get in, now we're looking at, but don't get in as the 8th seed because you're going to have to face Boston.
Right. Anything to avoid Boston, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Exactly.
The schedule's really weird because Detroit is, I think they're 4 games behind Washington. Maybe it's 3, whatever it is. But plenty to make up. And there's teams in between them. But the opportunity is there. And here we are with big regular season hockey games. Now, I don't know if Detroit's going to surge. Are they going to fade? But, there's, like I said, 27 regular season games to go. This could be a fun stretch of important hockey that, maybe this city can get into, create a little buzz, have a little fun with it. I'm ready. You ready?
I'm totally ready because, we keep talking about, we talked about it since LCA opened. We want to see playoff hockey at LCA. I want to see what it's like in the springtime when the weather starts cooperating, that outdoor area. We want to use that outdoor area.
Yep.
Want to have watch parties out there and stuff like that, and just see people coming back downtown to watch stuff. And it'd be amazing to see hockey if they could play in May. Wow,